Okay, question 5 is, what are some things you are looking forward to when the stay-at-home orders are lifted?
So personally, I just turned 18 on Sunday, and I had a whole plan,
Whoop,
right? I was going to go
whoop.
to the casino, I was going to get my permit, I was going to do all this, right? So you guarantee the first day the DMV is open, I'll be in line to get my permit.
Hey.
Hey.
I think the first thing I'm looking forward to is just being able to and I guess this might not be able to happen because even though the stay-at-home order will be lifted, I don't think social distancing or large groups that will change. But just being able to see all of my friends like in one space. So I might have to wait till next summer for this, but like being able to be all together in one space again, because like we were talking about taking things for granted, we didn't realize like I never realized how much I took that for granted. Like just being able to see my friends every day, like after school, being what's the moves, like just being able to do whatever you want, go with the flow. And now it's snatched away and it's like I haven't seen my friends in how long, you know? So I think that's one thing I'll be looking forward to.
Yeah, I definitely can't wait to see my friends. But I feel like I'm just excited to like okay, I personally don't like to go out like a lot to like movies, to dinner, because that's just not what I do on my regular day to day. But it's like now I'm excited to do that, and it's like actually appreciating just being in public and looking around like, dang, all of us are in this mall right now, just having a good time, and I don't know, but we're all here. Yeah, walking around public areas.
I mean, I'd be excited to just see like what life is like, how people are, because the stay-at-home orders, when those get lifted, who knows if, like the stores and the economy in general is going to go back to normal. I don't think so. Like it's going to have to be gradual, right? So like even when we're let out, who knows if all of our favorite stores are still going to be there? Who knows if that, that local business on the corner of your block is still going to be open, right? So just seeing how different things are, that's going to be interesting too.
Mm-hmm. That's true, because they could open, but then like have a different schedule where like not everything's open at the same time, and people still have to social distance. That's true. Like
and that will be your legit new normal. Like the stay at home, we say this is our new normal right now because it is. But in 5 months, when we look back on it, that's just going to be a small time period, because like a month, that's not really that long. But say we have to social distance till 2021, that's going to be a new normal, like a real new normal.
Real new normal.
And I look forward to like, even if we're not going to improve, but at least like we're not on this like stationary road to nowhere. Because before, like we were already divided and we weren't talking about anything, but now like at least I felt like our world was kind of forced into a room. It's like talk. Talk. Even if like some of us are just still kind of like sitting in our chairs like I'm not talking yet, but eventually someone's gonna have to talk. And that's where I feel like after it's uplifted, we can't just go back to normal, or it really shows like if we can just shut our brains off and forget about that, then we have a serious issue. But if we don't, then we can move forward and we could try to see like what can we do to move on from this that will be meaningful in a way. Like how can we take moments to appreciate further in a way.
Yeah, because it's like, is the world ever going to go back to the normal that we knew before COVID-19? Like actually March 13th, 2020 might have been the last day of that normal, that box that we had been living in for decades, that might have been the end to that.
Right, I know.
But then look, we just gonna start a new one.
Yeah.
Take another global pandemic to get us out of it.
Right.
But then it's gonna be like, think when we're like the 6-year-olds right now, it's gonna be like, literally remember when everybody used to go to have a 9-to-5 job and kids used to go to school from 8 to 3, like remember that world? Our grandkids are gonna be lucky.
Yeah. I think this is just a great like pause. Now breathe, figure it out. We're going to unpause and hopefully move forward. That's just all we can gain from this. It's all we can gain.
Right.
Because, I mean, even though, like, now we're still on pause, we're still, like, in that money mindset. And that may not go away, but, like, maybe we can, like, fade it out with time if we keep we find something new to make out of the situation.
Because like the people who are like still in their chairs, not wanting to talk to nobody, eventually they're gonna get bored and be like, wait, what is everybody talking about? I'm bored now.
Right.
Okay, ready for the last question?
I don't know.
Okay, this one's a good one. And I added this one. I didn't send this to you guys, so get ready. Okay. What are some things you have learned about yourself and about others during this quarantine? So I feel like we answered that whole entire question already. But if there's any
We could go again, round two.
we can't get too deep.
We can make it brief. Do you have another question after this?
No, that's the last question.
Wait, can you say it again?
Okay. What are some things you have learned about yourself and about others during this quarantine?
Okay.
I would say you really learn who's in your circle, right? It's easy when we're walking the halls of the school, right? To say hi to so and so, right? To have a conversation with whoever, right? But now we're all isolated. Who's making the effort to hit you up on the regular, right? Who's making the effort to have a conversation with you and check in with you, right? And see how you're doing, right? And see how you're coping with it, right? And then, from yourself, you really figure out like, what do I need to motivate me, right? Who am I truly, right? And where do I want to go in life, right? Because like you said, we're always living for tomorrow. We're always living for next month. We're never living right now, right? And this kind of forces me personally to really think, okay, what do I truly want and how I'm going to get there, right? And start taking each day, one day at a time, in order to achieve my goals. So I say that's one of the biggest things, really, figuring out who you truly are and, what you take to really succeed in your eyes, and overall, like, who's in your circle, and what relationships are your strongest.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. And I think that, like, something I would say that I've learned about myself and I guess about other people is, like, what truly makes you happy. Because for myself, like, I would always say that, like, my friends make me happy, like other people. I'm such an extrovert. Like, I get my energy from, like, other people. And, like, that's not going to be the case for every single person, right? But for my personality, I've always felt like, okay, that's the case. So now when I was in quarantine, and you guys, I was on strict quarantine, you guys know, but like not being able to see anyone go anywhere. So that was just like a complete, like, light switch on and off type thing, day and night. Like, it was completely opposite of how, like, I would live my life before. And so now I was just kind of forced to find happiness, like, within my own self and not from other people. Like, how do I get that energy from myself, from what I do, like exercising, going on walks, really, like, indulging in a passion of mine, singing more, versus, like, just hanging out with other people and getting that energy from them. Because at the end of the day, there's going to be times where other people cannot give you that energy. And then you're going to have to rely on your own self to provide yourself with that energy. And I feel like that's something that, like, I was never put in that position yet, but now because of this stay-at-home order and this quarantine, pandemic, whatever is going on, it has dawned on me, and I've been put in that situation. So, like, I've had to learn the hard way. Like, I've had to learn how to swim while being in the water, basically. And I think that's also, like, the most beneficial, like, life experience, is to learn from, like, within the situation. So
I 100% agree with that. I think it's been a time for me to just, like, reflect on how to find appreciation with little simple things that should have initially you had been grateful for, but, like, we lost that totally. Whether that's just, like, appreciating that it's sunny today, like, or it's cloudy today, it's raining. No matter what, my energy just, like, depicts how this day goes. And, like, I'm the leader of my day, but I'm given different challenges, and whether I make that challenge into a success or make that challenge into a fail. So how do I lead myself into a positive area and, like, mind space? Because if I want to stay negative and say that I'm bored, I'll be negative and bored. If I want to make pleasures out of something that's simple and that doesn't, need much attention or planning, then that's what we're used to. And now we have to figure out how to find happiness in things we're not used to doing as a normal thing.
And that's the whole entire difference between the people who are happy right now and the people who are suffering.
Exactly. Because pain is inevitable, suffering's a choice.
Yeah, and I feel like, right, you're saying, like your lockdown was like strict, so you had no choice whether to, enjoy time with yourself or not.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was just like I didn't really have a strict lockdown at first, and so it was like at first I was doing the same thing every day with my friends, just doing the same thing over and over and over until I realized like this is my quarantine. If I don't want to go do the same thing over and over, I don't have to. So it's like realizing what do I want to do in this moment right now? Not what am I usually doing? What am I, what did I do yesterday at this time? But what in this moment do I have the energy to do, and what can I accomplish right now? Not just the regular what they told you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mara, you brought up a great point about challenges, and it all has to do with our mindset. If we look at challenges, rather as well as me, and I'm just going to succumb to this challenge, and I'm not going to, try to overcome it, or I can look at the challenge as more of an opportunity, right? And then Rayo, you kind of fed off that and said, that's when you look at people who are bored and sad and mad right now, and people are using this opportunity to really grow in who they are and what they want to become. Right, and I feel like it's just key for us to look at all these challenges as opportunities and ways to grow. Whether my parents won't let me out the house, okay, that's a challenge, right? How can I grow from this, right? Maybe I can explore something I haven't had time to do in the past, right? Just little things like that, really help us become, who we truly want to be and what we strive to be.
Mm-hmm. Boredom truly does not exist.
Doesn't at all.
Boredom is a choice. But I think that thank you guys all for agreeing to do this like conversation. I don't even want to call it an interview because it was really just an open discussion.
Right.
But thank you guys all for being willing to do this because, this is something new that Agents of Change is doing, the Youth Flow channel. So you guys are our first guests. So I'm going to give you a little round of applause.
Hey.
But and thank you guys all for whoever's watching. I would encourage you all to really listen to like some of the major deeper points that we talked about because, with everything that's going on, COVID-19, that's just one thing that's going on right now. And there are many different other like deeper topics that are being brought to the surface in the midst of this entire pandemic. So I would encourage you all to really think about some of those topics and really figure out a way for you to grow personally and use this experience to your own benefit to really grow as a human being. Mm-hmm. And with that being said, like and subscribe if you enjoyed our content, and we'll be back next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.